We have with us Muhammad Ali Durrani, who's been a senator, is a seasoned politician in Pakistan, was the information minister under General Musharraf, and has recently orchestrated what he calls a track to dialogue between the opposition and the establishment to have some kind of or pave the way for a grand national dialogue between all political parties, including the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, so that there can be some kind of movement forward in how to govern the country. Muhammad Ali Durrani Saab, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you started or initiated what is called the track to dialogue between the establishment and the opposition parties, which includes Maulana Fazlur Rahman, also the PML-N. What kind of a track to dialogue is taking place and what is really on the agenda?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'd like to say a word about establishment. It's not a correct interpretation of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the time to have a dialogue on a state level in which judiciary, bureaucracy, establishment, opposition and government, they should all participate in that dialogue, number one. Number two, there are some segments of our state, those who can speak. Opposition can talk, government can talk, but establishment can't. This judiciary can't, and other bureaucracy can't. So there should be a system in which we can have sentiment from everybody, everybody's feeling, everybody's input, without making them public with their name or with their reference. And we should sit together to establish an agenda for a national dialogue. So the track to dialogue on which I am working, and I have coined this term for the purpose that at present, every day there is a headline which means nothing. So I don't want any headline, but I want an objective to be achieved, and that is in the interest of my generation, my future, my country, and my economy of my country, that there should be a dialogue, there should be an agenda for dialogue. I know, to start with, nobody will agree on an agenda, but later on, we'll reach to a point when public pressure, public opinion, intellectuals of the Pakistan, they'll play their role to bring opposition and government and others on an agenda which will be positive for the Pakistan and the democracy in Pakistan.
But you very rightly pointed out that the judiciary and the army have sworn never to interfere in politics. Now, if you drag them into a political dialogue, or what you're talking about, make them have a political dialogue, how is that going to be possible? And under what kind of law will that be possible? Because they take an oath that they will not indulge in politics.
I have cleared my statement before, and I'll clear it again, that I don't think that they should be indulged into a political dialogue. I don't want their statements to be there in a political dialogue. But they have an opinion. Judiciary has an opinion. Now it's the problem today which we are facing is not a two-party problem. It's a national problem, that there is a national breakdown, like the electricity was, that everything is still stand. Economy is suffering because of this confrontation, and confrontation in a parliament where there are few votes on one side and difference of few votes on which this parliamentary system is standing. So this requires a very keen interest of every Pakistani and every institution of Pakistan for reaching an agreement or an agenda through which we can create more confidence building measures among the government, among the opposition, and all segments of the state. Today, government is every day using the name of army, name of establishment, so blaming opposition for involving army into saying we are on the same page. Nothing. There is nothing which is new. Any government, if government is there, the opposition, all the state operators, they are subservient to them. Why to say it? So what I am saying is, I want that they should be now kept away from media, they should be kept away from statements, they should be kept away from everything, and we should sit on the national issues identified through a dialogue process, and we should talk on those issues. And I think that the think tanks in Pakistan, how many they are, we know them, intellectuals of Pakistan, they are thinking on the same lines, and they are tending to agree with me that the today dialogue requirement is first for the agenda setting.
All right. So when you talk about a secret dialogue, the secret dialogue has to be for a purpose. What the opposition parties want, what Maulana Fazlur Rahman wants, is free and fair elections without the interference of the army. They must have spoken about it to you. What kind of response did you get from them when you went to meet them? One, Shahbaz Sharif in Kot Lakhpat jail and Maulana Fazlur Rahman.
When I met them, I have met so many people from the government side as well. They are our friends. We meet each other. But I think that on individual level, everybody is interested in getting issues resolved, in moving forward. Everybody is concerned about the political system. Everybody wants that the political and the democratic system should continue in the country. And nobody wants an accident, for sure. But
they have threatened that they will resign from the assemblies, that they will...
look, this threat was there. And they were really, I think the situation was not that simple. That nobody will resign, or if the government person says, oh, aao ji resign leke aao, sort of thing. I think that's not a serious behavior pattern.
So you believe that the opposition was very...
I think that there was
it was a real threat.
Real threat.
Of resignation.
Of resignation.
They were going to really resign.
That was a real threat, and this threat has been averted for the time being.
How has it been averted?
I think there were so many factors. Better sense prevailed in the opposition as well. There were some constitutional deliberations which helped them in developing that, and public pressure as well. Because of media played a very positive role in this. And so even social media played a very positive role, that everybody was saying that there should be a dialogue. There should be a dialogue. And I put this question in front of everybody, that if you will resign, what will happen? Then again you will dialogue. Why not have a dialogue before?
So did they agree to your demand, Maulana Fazlur Rahman and
Nobody
Shahbaz
agrees
Sharif?
on the first step. I always say...
They did not agree?
Yeah, they didn't agree. But I asked them that this is the start of dialogue. For agreeing to disagree is a dialogue. And when you start...
What did they ask? What did they ask you? What did they want?
One is very public, that we want resign of that. I say this is your conditionality. This is again a dialogue requirement, that you should give your conditions. Same is from the opposition. They'll say, we will not give NRO. Look, government is saying we will not give NRO. I think opposition will immediately accept that demand. Okay, we are not asking NRO. The simple way is, let's have a dialogue in front of media. Let's set an agenda. Go for the agenda. Agree on the agenda and have a dialogue on it.
But how will you ensure, one of the things that they demand is that there should be free, fair elections without the interference of the military. How can anybody ensure that?
These to ensure a fair and free election always demands a system. There are such a strong systems in America, even then the president is saying that they were not fair elections. So you can't avert really saying there'll be an election, everybody will say Anki Dori. No. Problem is this, we should have a system of elections which should be more transparent and more comprehensive. So for that I propose that National Assembly elections, Provincial Assembly elections and local body elections on the same day with the same duration. This will serve at least my purpose. I'm a common man. At least I'll get my own local self-government system intact with the elections. Otherwise,
Did you propose this idea to Shahbaz Sharif and Maulana
No, I
Fazlur
didn't
Rahman?
discuss this. I'm putting this idea through media, because now we are working on the different conditions in which we can have our objective achieved. So I think that this can be one step, or this step will ensure fair and free. Nobody, while the local representatives of local government candidates are sitting in the same premises, I'll see who will interfere.
But track 2 dialogue is something that you are a part of?
I have suggested on the behest of my party, I have initiated this dialogue concept, and I want to have an agenda out of this dialogue, and I'll not like to have ownership. I'm meeting that person, I'm meeting that, who said this. I'll not go in front of media. I'll not project my meetings at all. I have not projected any of the meeting. One was just by chance. So I'll not project any meeting. So what I'll do, I'll definitely work for the interest of my country, and in future I see that there will be a betterment in the country, because the situation, ongoing situation in the country, though it's not good today, but it will be good tomorrow, inshallah.
But one thing that Mariam Nawaz, who's the vice president of the PML-N, is the daughter of Mian Nawaz Sharif, she has said that if there's going to be a dialogue, it will be in front of the people of Pakistan.
I'll support her suggestion that agenda setting is not possible in front of public. Once the agenda is agreed, it should be open to everybody. Look who is saying for NRO, look who is not saying for NRO, look what argument is one giving on an agenda, which is a nationally acknowledged agenda. So I will support her suggestion that any such dialogue should be in front of public. Because I don't want blackmail dialogue or blackmail demand.
So the public will see all opposition political parties, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the establishment and the judiciary come together publicly.
No, not judiciary. I said that
Establishment,
only.
PTI,
No, not
and
establishment.
people and
No, not
opposition.
establishment. Very clearly, opposition and government, they can sit in front. Intellectuals can have their role. Bars can have their role. Their reps can be there.
Would Prime Minister Imran Khan agree to this?
It's up to him.
Have you met him?
No, I haven't met him.
Do you intend to meet him?
I think my leader should meet him.
So Peer Pagada Sahab would meet him?
I hope so.
And this is something that he would be open to?
I don't know.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. So that was Muhammad Ali Durrani, who has recently initiated a track 2 dialogue between different stakeholders, which includes the opposition and the establishment and other political parties or other players who want to see some kind of a reconciliation and lowering down of the political temperature in Pakistan. He also believes that the opposition was very serious in submitting resignations, and had that happened, there would have been a catastrophe, there would have been an economic downturn, which is something he believes should have been avoided. He believes that this track 2 dialogue will lead to somewhat of a national dialogue, which will include the PTI, and it will include Prime Minister Imran Khan if he agrees to come on board, and it will also take into account the wishes and the opinions of the establishment and the judiciary. Whether that actually happens, it remains to be seen, but at the moment he claims that the track 2 dialogue is on its way.